A man by the name Anton Chekov, not that guy, was a Russian playwright who coined a narrative principle which emphasized that every nook and cranny of a story be relevant, and if not relevant, should be removed. Now, you think this should just be the bare minimum, why have unnecessary shit in the story? He'd be surprised. Such as a gun featured in the first act of a story should be fired by the end of the story, otherwise known as Chekov's gun. Now, what does this have to do with Chainsaw Man? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, Fujimoto is the GOAT, greatest of all time, the GOAT. He's invited to every cookout ever. And one of the many things he excels at is subverting expectations and just generally fucking with your sense of safety. Massive spoilers for Chainsaw Man Part 1. Okay, so this is your warning. Leave in 3, 2, okay. Throughout Chainsaw Man Part 1, we are thrown back and forth like a crash dummy getting hit by a 18-wheeler, a Honda Prius, in terms of emotions. Every second you feel safe in the story, something fucked happens, just kind of helps give Part 1 that binge-worthy nature, because you just can't put it down. You simply cannot, all right? Especially after book 5, get out of town, all right? It might be a different moment for everyone, but I can pinpoint the exact moment in Part 1 where I just truly felt unsafe. Like, I had to call my mom, all right? Terrified. Lost in a grocery store. That level of unsafe. Nightmare. Aki is introduced in Chapter 2 and is wearing a sword on his back. Nope, that's a nail. That's a huge nail, okay? The nail is not brought up in conversation until the main cast is trapped by the Eternity Devil. Aki says if push comes to shove, he'll use the nail, but Himeno, like the only time she's ever serious, immediately shuts that shit down and says that cannot happen. And if it comes to that, then they'll just give up Denji, which they all agree they shouldn't do. But she's like, nah, fuck you, Denji. We'll just kill you. All right. Later, Himeno even restrains him when he tries to use the sword. Nail sword. Nail. Not a sword. It's a nail. So, with this scene, we are told that the nail is an extremely powerful weapon, but using it takes a dangerous toll on its user. These few little bits of information, kind of stayed in the back of my head as I wondered, how powerful was this nail? And what did it do, not only towards its enemy, but towards its user? Are we ever going to find out? Yeah, we find out like a few chapters later, okay? During one of the first of many, holy shit, half the cast just died moments, alright? When Katana Man makes his appearance and absolutely disrespects the Fox Devil. Aki pulls the nail out without a second thought and engages Katana Man in battle. The nail is an extension of the Cursed Devil, and after 3 hits on a target, they're grabbed by these big-ass hands and just killed and crucified, okay? Simple enough, though. Even though Aki lost years of his life, he at least defeated the strongest combatant they've come across. Fuck. So the super powerful kill-all Deus Ex Machina tool that was hyped up a few chapters ago is essentially rendered useless. Katana Man continues packing up the cast by cutting Aki down the middle, and in the end, Aki not only lost his co-worker's best friend, he also has 2 years left to live from using the nail. Damn. That sucks. That sucks. The thing about this all is that the nail is a super powerful kill-all tool. It was just used on someone who basically can't die, so it feels pointless. In a good way. The Violence Fiend is introduced after Katana Man's introduction, and the most striking thing about his appearance is the mask he wears. It's very, very sexy. Kishibe informs the audience it's used to pump gas into him, which keeps his power level stable, and he ends off his introduction with him by simply stating, do not remove that mask under any circumstances. Once again, this little tidbit of information kind of stays in the back of your head as you wonder, like, what power lies under that mask? Especially since he's already a pretty strong character, It's not until the International Assassin arc, amidst another holy shit, half the cast just died moment, we get to see the mask removed during a dire situation. And for about one panel, it looked like he was about to do some damage before being royally packed up by the Darkness Devil. Twice. Once again, Fujimoto introduces a seemingly powerhouse weapon or ability that is rendered useless immediately. But also, once again, the Violence Fiend without a mask is not useless. Neither is the nail. I feel in most narratives, Chekov's gun is normally the big fix in a conflict. Obviously, this doesn't happen in every story, but I feel like in most traditional stories, yeah, they introduce a artifact or something at the beginning, and you're like, that's gonna fix everything, okay? But Chainsaw Man is kind of like, no, your artifact sucks, okay? Fujimoto is unafraid at every turn to have our characters just be royally outmatched in a fight. So outmatched that their hidden trump card, whether it be the Nail, Cursed Devil, or the Violence Fiend without a mask, is simply shrugged off by the enemy. It just shows the absolute gap in strength, once again making you feel truly unsafe in every conflict the characters enter, for the sheer fact that you know, one, that no one's safe, and any special tricks they've been saving up could just be as pointless as throwing toothpicks at a tank. Okay? In summation, they are Chekov's guns. They just don't really work. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. That's just something I was thinking about on this last reread. And these are the two examples I thought of. If you have any other ideas for a Chekhov's gun, or if you want to say this isn't even a Chekhov's gun, please let me know down below, okay? And if you want to talk more about Chainsaw Man, then comment. Tell me your favorite moment, holy shit, half the cast just died moment in part 1. There's a lot of good ones. They're all great, okay? Other than that, I would like to end it off with thank you for watching. As for where I've been, busy with school, just graduated middle school, but I'll just leave it on that. Goodbye.